Hello. I guess next up is going to be the medic, and we'll go ahead and just get right into the weapons that I was using. Oh, there we go. Okay. Uh, let's get right into the primary. There's probably the two best choices out of the four, which is just the default syringe gun or the overdose. Um, Main reason not for these the other two, that's only good for of course, like the long distance healing if you're away. I can understand, and that it's sorry about that. It's my opinion, just a negative because you're not really, Brutalist as a medic supposed to be attacking. Um, that's the only, that's the time you get the tank for the extra health. After that point, you're actually hindering your own health regen. The reason why you want to choose the overdose is technically that damage penalty. It's not going to affect you because you're not going to be really shooting it. But the bonus of the extra movement speed is really good because you'll have Uber, whatever percentage more often than you normally do normal gameplay, and it would benefit more. Next up, we'll go over the melee. There's probably two you can kind of go with. Again, it is based on the play style and what metagun you use. But the one I normally use is the Uber Saw, because there's something in particular I use in my gameplay, which involves kind of going balls to the wall, but you need to know what you're doing, have the right upgrades to do it. And the other one is the Amputator. Again, I will get to that whenever I discuss the metaguns after a test I'm going to show. And the last is the four metaguns. Technically, the default, like literally the default. If you're playing with randoms, they're gonna say, why aren't you using the crits? I need crits. You know, if that's really good. If you're not really playing with the team, you won't have as much coordination. You need power, you need crits. The other two that's fun to use. It's just as reliable as the quick fix and the vaccinator. And the only reason why I'm saying meh to the default, you'll see the reason why the main reason why I like to use the other three, because I'm going to show some healing, some reviving tests, just default, just healing, and then with the Ubers, because some people don't know that when you pop each of these charges, they'll revive teammates faster. They're all four of these are about the same on both ends, but I do like to I'm going to bring up some comments that will make you kind of lean towards using a certain one depending on your team and how you play and all those little factors and all that fun shit. So I guess next up will be these tests. Okay, so we're gonna kind of go over kind of the results. I try to these. I honestly feel like the default and the crits might be slightly not representing, but at least this is just kind of just proof of concept I can kind of show you. So from just the reviving, now this does include maxing out healing mastery, which it's after the medic update with the shield, where it includes your self healing, but also it's also the heal rate that you heal your teammates, but also is the reviving. So it has all four of these have all four ticks. So, but you can see that the default, they're pretty much all the same. Krieg is just a little bit slower, but I'm surprised because there's nothing too special between the default and the crits except the faster overcharge rate, which that wouldn't make too much difference. So that number might be slightly skewed, but the one negative without any of the overcharges is the vaccinator, because I believe that's the main reason why it's slower is the overheal rate is slower. That might be one of the factors, the reason why it revives the slowest out of all four of them. Now here's the thing. Now let's go over to the I'm going to use the the charges. All of them are remote, or pretty much all the same. But if you notice, so this is the reason why I have no problem using the quick fix and the vaccinator, because like I say, crits Krieg, it is honestly the default weapon to use. I mean crits, you can't go wrong with that. The reason why I like to use the quick fix and the vaccinator, if you just remembered, on the default, without just the reviving, it did heal a little bit faster of all of them. And again, the same thing, a little bit faster than everything else, because the revive rate, the reviving, it's technically how fast you can heal. And since the quick fix has the stats, there's an extra 40%, it heals faster. That does not count as part of the healing mastery. So it does heal your teammates just normal healing. It does heal them much faster. And the reviving is a little bit faster. That's the reason why I like to use the quick fix, because it heals it keeps your teammates alive. They can obviously soak up much more damage, but you trade off being able to dish out damage. So that's the trade-off. Now, the main reason why now let's go to the vaccinator. The main reason why I like to do the vaccinator, by these tests, you see that it technically revives almost the slowest of all of them. But here's the difference. Whenever I use the vaccinator, the only time I revive people is usually with Uber charges. Since you get 4 of them, I like to use the vaccinator as more of a rapid, self-controlled reviving. So that's kind of the reason why. So like the reason why it's like the default's kind of the one that's like don't really use. It's just there's no the one thing of it is you won't take any damage whatsoever during the time. You know what I mean? But the other ones, the crits Krieg, you can dish out damage. You know what I mean? The quick fix, you can absorb more damage. You can keep your teammates. You technically heal your teammates faster. They stay alive. The vaccinator, I use it more as it can be used more as a rapid reviving. I'll get more into that. So let's take a look at the upgrades. Okay, I guess next, like I say, we're going to discuss the upgrades. Let's just first go over the resistances. First off, as a medic, it's your job to stay alive stay alive. Technically, as long as a scout, which a scout should technically never die, but out of the whole group, you should stay alive the longest, because once you die, their teammates can fall. So like I say, I would probably say crit resistance, it's $450, easy, boom, 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 there you go. The next, at least, I always say with most classes, 2 on blast, 2 on bullet, especially when you get towards the end, it's always good. There's a thing I like to do, which it's in the clip that'll be after this, but I'll get back to it whenever I get to it. Primary, you won't be really using it, but the one thing you could get is the Mad Milk syringes, because it's really good if the scout's not nearby, or if you say, is your milk recharged? No, you can quickly. That's mostly good for giants, so you can dash a little, so you can help keep your teammates alive longer, so they can take down the giant more effectively. Next, we're actually going to skip and go to melee. What I normally use, which is it should be almost the default to use, is the Uber Saw, because the one thing you can do, just like how you can get rage, with the backpacks of the soldier, you can do the same Uber Sawing the Sentry Buster. That's like the best thing. Usually a friendly scout, if you he'll usually Mad Milk the Sentry Buster, so you can very easily get your full Uber. What I normally like to do is this only really works if you actually max your resistances out, and I also normally max out my movement speed, and then max out your Uber saw, because within 4 seconds, well, as long as you hit each time, you get full Uber. Boom, you're full Uber. Now let's go into the metagun, because if you compare it to maxing out the Uber charge rate, which is usually the cap is 100. It might be, I believe, for constantly healing people, damage. It's like basically it's the the maximum time or the quickest time. It's still like maybe 25, 30 seconds. Which number's faster? 25, 30, or 4? Thank you. That means I can probably Uber 4 to 5 times more often. You can just spam crits and not really worry about wasting it. Now, this only works if you max your resistances out. The movement speed is nice. It's a good way to really go in there, get your Ubers, and especially with the overdose, you'll have the extra 10% movement speed. Once you do have it, you can very easily get out and then crits. Now, like I say, but like I say, you got to be careful. Just don't think you have full resistances. Then you can just go in there, swing like crazy, be fine. Because, like I say, you will still die if you time it wrong. Okay. Now let's go into the metaguns. Like I say, what I've said before is the somewhat default is the crits. Crits is king. So anyway, that's why I normally use. But actually, it does depend on your team. If you play with randoms, it's probably best because it helps even out, the unexperience. But if you're playing with people like I said before, quick fix and vaccinators, it's not no-nos. Okay, so the first thing I want to do, here's a perfect example with $1,300. You need to always get at least one shield. Me personally, I hardly get both. Unless you've got plenty of spare money, and go right ahead. And then the next thing you do is slowly max out your healing mastery, because that is, your healing. That's your actual heal rate, of your teammates. That's also technically the revive rate, and increases your revive time. But also, I didn't really know this until I really basically read the description here, and I tested it. I was like, oh yeah, your actual personal heal rate of your 3 while in battle and 4 while you're outside of battle is doubled. So 6 and 8. That's not much, but it's nice, because if you get hit by something, you get down to half health. You can just crouch by the dispenser with a level 3 plus the increased heal rate. You can get back up to full health in probably 10 seconds or depending how low your health is. The next thing kind of you need to work on is the overheal. Me personally, I do 2. That's like the most I'll do. I never do max. It's maybe towards maybe the last wave, and I got plans for I'll go ahead and do it. Now there's one thing you should not do. I've seen a couple medics do it, and it's just, even one of my friends has done it. And I was like, why is maxing out overheal but nothing on your healing? Because it'd be like, good quiz, how long would it take to get a heavy fully overhealed with the default heal rate to, I think, is it 600? No, bad math. I forgot what number it would be, but would it be a solid like 15 seconds? I feel like it might be 15 seconds, and that's crazy long to try to get back to overheal. So like I say, 2 is enough, but obviously you need to max out the healing. The next thing that I actually probably do 1, sometimes 2 if I've got the money, is the Uber duration. Doing all 3, like say, it's my Uber saw and resistance tactic. You could technically take that $500, and then boom, you have 2, and then almost ready for the third one already ready. Because like I say, the extra 4 seconds versus the 8 seconds, you can see it's a little bit more better. It's balanced out to rather max out duration or nothing on the Uber, or had the default Uber charge rate. So it just, me personally, I do one. So, but here's also a little quick fun fact. Whenever I use the vaccinator, if you use if you have one of the Uber durations, and if you pop the Uber within that within the second and a half, I believe, or within the 2 seconds, I believe, of the actual, of the 1/4 Uber, the 2 seconds, if you extend it with one of these, with one of those Ubers, with one of the 4 Ubers, you can revive 2 teammates. Because without it, you get one, and then you almost revive the second person. But with that one tick there, boom, you get 2 teammates with one of the Ubers. So, it's not too bad. The last thing I like to mention is Canteen Specialist. I actually almost never use it. It is good, because once you max it out, crits only cost 70, which is nice, and also makes them last 8 seconds, which is nice. But that's not how I play. So, and then I would say this: if you do go into Canteen Specialist, don't get one and start doing canteens. Go ahead and get it, but save money on the canteens. Max it out first, because you would technically save money and be more effective if you max it out and then start getting the canteens with your discounted price. So, and then, I guess the last thing I like to kind of show is a tactic that you'd be surprised, like how would it work, but it does work, which involves I kind of use the term, I just call it Mad Milk Medic, which I kind of showed one person do it, but they just didn't do the upgrades like they should. It's like you're not going to survive, and they didn't. But what it is, you actually don't upgrade. You have to, of course, refund your money. This might be good for maybe the last wave. This actually works perfect on the last wave of Empire with with all the heavies and heal on kill heavies. So what I do is I put nothing on the minigun. You go, that's crazy. Of course you'll probably use crits. Your crits for that, for the 8 seconds with whoever. Then what you do is you go completely on the attack, and what you do is the only way to survive. And of course, if you've collected most of the money, you should have enough for this. This only works, I believe. This is with A+ all the way, and you have enough money for these upgrades, which is max crit, max bullet, max blast, max movement, max health regen, Mad Milk, firing speed, clip size, ammo, and I believe 2 on the health on kill. That's with A+ all the way, and it's also counting not buying back and canteens. But so basically, what it is, Mad Milk, you heal. Since you're applying Mad Milk, you heal. The 60%, and it's only technically each you only be healing 5 or 8, I think. Per needle a fire, but you, with the extra fire rate, it takes a lot to kill you, basically, because if you know of the Empire and the heavies, all the heavies, and then I've had 2 heavies when it's divided into the 10 small ones. I've had 2 of them fire at me directly, and and I'm staying alive. It takes 3 of them to actually kill you. It's but no, just going to remind you. You need to max out all your resistances, including health regen, and pretty much this. You stay alive, and also keep your teammates alive, because basically all your enemies, even the little guys, because you can just run around, just shake your camera like crazy, and just Mad Milk everything. But everyone's healing, and they're staying alive, and you don't die. And what I do for my melee, since actually you're not going to be critzing, I do like to switch to the amputator, just in case, because you will be burning through ammo like crazy. If you run out of ammo, I whip that out and basically run away. So for the extra health regen, just so I can make it to a health pack and then go back on the attack. So, but like I say, this only works. It only works if you max out the resistances: blast, bullet, crit, health, movement, and pretty much your meta gun. I would say, I mean, the only thing you can probably, if you have to save money on, like maybe 2 on the clip, because I believe I would now probably 1 on the clip, and then probably 2 on the ammo, if you don't have enough money. So that's that's $650, and you need at least 1 health on kill for the little bots. So that's I believe that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 850 bucks, which, yeah, that's about right if you don't quite get A+ on a couple of them, plus the whatever, that's about right. So that one's still possible. So like I said, I hope you kind of enjoyed this little ramble, and I guess next I'll cut to some gameplay of, I believe this is Empire on Manhattan.
Okay, now we can finally max that out. Okay. Max resistances. We'll put
Sound off if you're ready.
Yeah. As me personally, I would have probably put that 200, probably with 1 more overheal right here. I think it's fine as is.
I feel like 1,000,000 Deutschmarks. Forward! Overboard! Go! Overboard!
Get the eyes up here!
Overboard is destroyed! Overboard has bombed!
Engineers, look out for that sentry buster! Another sentry buster has entered the area.
He's up here, I'll get it.
All spy bots destroyed. Alert! Another sentry buster has entered the area. The spies are here. Another sentry buster has entered the area. You have destroyed all spiders.
Don't let him hit you.
Another sentry buster has entered the area. You have destroyed all spiders.
two-way teleporter over there.
Here comes the spy. Another sentry buster has entered the area. You have killed all the spies. Alert! Another sentry buster has entered the area. Incoming spy. Another sentry buster has entered the area. The spies are here.
I am taught.
Lagi.
Move aboard. The overbot has evolved.
Video.
Ah, bullshit.
Incoming spy.
Thank you, engineer.
Alert! Stop them from deploying security alert! Has been set back to the start!
Overbot is destroyed.
We're almost done.
You have killed all the spies!
I'm pull. Push. Under the. Hey. Coming in.
Defeated the wave. Good. Now find an upgrade station.